Hey everybody, welcome to What Drives Us, episode 326, recorded July the 3rd, 2019. I am Tony Schaefer, your host this week with my Dark and Stormy. And we are going to delve into this week's journey of advanced technology, mobility, and sustainable energy. But it's not a journey I have to go alone because I have my co-host and wingman on this show, Mr. Russell Frost.
If I was drinking Dark and Stormies about 10 minutes into this show, I would be done. Okay? Because I love those things. And it's like, okay, I need another one. Mm-hmm. Two's no big deal.
Oh,
I need three.
Where there's two, there's a third.
Where there's a third, yeah.
Oh, they are just...
Tony was with me the night that I first had those.
No, I thought that was the night I first had.
Well, maybe both of us then. Yeah, we were at a party in New York for the Toyota Corolla, and that was one of the signature drinks. And needless to say, by the end of the night, I was lit. I think that's the
yes,
fun way to
that's correct.
And I would say
plugged in.
I was plugged in hard. Okay.
Yes.
You were fully charged.
I had no idea we both lost our Dark and Stormy virginity on the same night.
We did indeed.
It's so special.
So for those of us who don't know, what is in a Dark and Stormy?
It is, well, my Dark and Stormy, 3 ice cubes. There's a little bit of lime juice, and it has to be real lime juice. It does make a difference. There is rum. Now, some would prefer the dark rum, which is where the dark comes from, a dark rum, and then you finish it off with ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
Yeah.
If you want, you can use Gosling's dark rum.
Yes. Gosling's ginger beer is very good.
And a splash of ginger beer, is that?
No. It's yes. So it's a little bit of lime juice, rum, and then
Where's yours on the drink? It sounds
a little something.
It sounds very homey.
All I know is that if you have like 8 of them, you get pretty drunk.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it comes from the motherland.
Yeah. If you've never had
definitely,
one,
right?
If you've never had one, Toyota invites you to a Corolla event. If you've had 8 of them, Toyota disbands the entire Prius experts group.
Did they do that to us? Oh god! Now I'm crying. I was so drunk at the time I didn't notice.
Didn't even notice. Okay, I'm going to throw it over to our man in Boulder, Colorado, the owner of Boulder Hybrids. He tears down, repairs, and sometimes puts them back together. Hybrids and EVs, Mr. Paul Guzik.
Hey everybody, good to be back. And since it's a couple of days after Canada Day and there's still some Labatt's in the fridge, I'm drinking that. Tomorrow I'll switch to American beer.
Why?
You don't have to.
Yeah, you really don't have to.
I drink whatever's in the fridge.
You get a pass on this July 4th. Everybody gets a pass on this July 4th.
Yes. And speaking of July 4th, KC is our alt champion for a long time, starting at cleanmpg.com. Now has his own YouTube channel. He's burning up the drag strips in South Carolina with his ludicrous Model X, Mr. Casey Green.
That's what we do. And as you can see behind us, the studio is getting ready to move sometime later this month to a temporary studio or several. And then,
hopefully not several.
Hopefully not several, but and then a medium term temporary, and then we'll see where I end up after that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You're gonna at some point. Your YouTube channel is going to be living in the Model X. With Casey Green.
Hopefully, it's like in an RV behind the semi at that point.
And finally,
it would be like van life, but a Model X life, living in the X.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw it over to Mark, the founder of the Canadian Aero Wheel Emporium, resident Chevy Volt driver, plug-in enthusiast, Mr. Mark Coughlin.
Hello, everybody. Yep, I know for a fact that Casey's got the reservation in on the semi, and he's not getting a 48-foot trailer. It's going to be 53. So he's going to have lots of room for his studio.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Kind of like a mobile. Yeah.
Oh, it could be like Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Where, you drop the back and you drive the 3 up into the
X,
bed.
yeah. It could be. I could start a Mega Charger reviews.
There you go.
Yeah, a mega toy hauler with a garage.
No one's got that website yet, Casey. Jump all over that one.
There you go.
MegaChargerReviews.com.
Yep.
Somebody just bought it.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yes. There it goes.
But I got CaseyGreen.com. Who knows what's on there, but I got it.
Well, we might as well get started with a potential new EV car. Mark?
Yes, there was I guess, a rumor that's gone out about the Chevy Camaro. There has been discussions that the Camaro could be an all-electric contender in a few years. We are talking about 2023, I believe, 2024 area. But what happened was that the one of the head honchos in the Camaro development left that department and showed up as someone that's taking over in Chevy Electric. So he's staying within the same company, but has moved from the Camaro team over to the electric team. And that has prompted some discussions about his possible movement into maybe bringing a Camaro to the new platform that Chevy's putting out that's supposed to be able to handle about 22 vehicles in total. Different variants of the vehicles could be made. And of course, in the chart that they have, you've got different sizes of vehicles across the board. All they do is they're able to add different drivetrains and variant battery amounts. And you can get everything from an SUV all the way down to a compact SUV. So it's like a little bit larger than a Bolt. So they've got this wide range of vehicles that they say they'll be able to make with the same architecture, and will allow them to push out a number of vehicles quickly. And we all wish they would start pushing them out quickly, because we've been waiting a long time and want to see another vehicle that is in the Chevy or Cadillac stable that's all electric. So this would be wonderful if this was to happen. Certainly, a lot of sports car enthusiasts would love the instant torque of an electric vehicle as a Camaro. They love the shape already. It probably would look a little bit different, but if they followed the same lines, I think they can make the best of both worlds and please a lot of people with an all-electric Camaro.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that, if they build this skateboard platform or whatever where they can build 23 different cars, it's not that hard to slap a Camaro body on top of it and target that niche of, petrol heads that want to go fast and go to track day and go to the drag strip. And I'm sure they can tweak it a bit more over the, minivan version of the same car. And
hopefully
make people feel all macho that they've got a really fast Camaro.
Yeah.
What's wrong with whooping ass with a minivan?
Well, that'd be real fun if they went to the drag strip and the minivan whooped the Camaro's ass.
I did it. I did it. That's it.
You don't have a minivan.
It's a Silicon Valley minivan.
All right. But this would be huge. This, like Mark was touching on, the petrol heads and the people who don't want to buy an esoteric, up and coming, blah, blah, blah. I want a Chevy. I grew up with Chevy. My dad drove Chevys. My granddad drove Chevys.
Shed bow ties.
Yeah. This would be huge to introduce all the gearheads to the instant torque and the power and everything of an electric vehicle under the Chevy badge. I really want this to happen.
They might have to put a big subwoofer to make the big muscly engine sounds.
So at Cars and Coffee last week, I played a YouTube compilation of annoyingly loud cars through the speakers, and everybody finally saw how preposterous it was, and they laughed at it because these don't work.
Speaking of that, we were at a meet just last week, and a person with a Hyundai Ioniq had an app on his phone that he was able to hack into the speaker system of the car for the pedestrian noise. Yeah. And he was able to play from a list of MP3s on his phone, whatever he wanted. So he was doing lightsaber battles. He was doing Jetsons. He was doing the Flubbermobile. He was doing it like he had hundreds of them that he was just flipping through, and whatever he felt like he could put on, and it was pretty cool idea. And with of course with the different countries and jurisdictions that are going to be requiring this in the future, I certainly hope that the other automakers catch on to this and start selling, little tunes that they could add as a revenue stream, just kind of like, ringtones on a phone, except it's for your car. So that would be a great idea for anybody out there that's putting an EV into play. Why not put up a little app store that you can purchase whatever you want and have your favorite sound as your pedestrian noise?
I think someone called them vroom tones.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So has everyone
download your favorite vroom tone?
Has everyone seen the Ecopa, the car with the Camaro body that was taking names down the drag strip?
Yes, I saw that. Yep.
So did they take any of the lessons from that in making this production car?
I'm not sure if they took lessons. Well, certainly this is a speculation story at this point. Right. But someone has done that with a Camaro, made it all electric, and it's a drifter car. It's a drifter car.
Oh, the drifter one. Okay.
It hauls butt. Like, this thing is unbelievably quick and agile, and of course with the instant torque makes it an ideal drifter car. So there are things to draw from that, and of course I'm sure Chevy in the world of racing is well aware of what's out there. So
like I said, they made 23 of them, and it's like, man, you could have done more, but at the prices they wanted, I can see why they only did 23.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the article also said that they were going to discontinue the Camaro in 2023.
That's correct. Yeah,
so
there's
no
future,
rejuvenated.
Yeah, no future plans for it after 2023 at this point.
And it said that they had killed it and brought it back. I mean, the classic Camaro, of course, they killed it and they brought it back in this new gen Camaro. So it would be interesting to see the new or the current Camaro die, and then in 5 years.
Car companies tend to do that. They'll kill a brand and then bring it back a few years. Like this year, I think we're getting the Ford Ranger and the Bronco are coming back.
Yeah.
They killed the VW Bug again, but it will probably come back in 5 years as something else.
So what's the over-under odds on the Pinto?
You never know. Or the Pacer.
The name is the Hyundai Pony.
No talking trash about the Pacer, okay?
Yeah.
Because that leads to one of my very favorite cars, the Gremlin. That's the car that should come back.
It was really good at going straight fast, but couldn't turn very well.
The Gremlin?
Yeah. It was like an engine on a wheel with no suspension.
Yeah. No, that's a fair description, actually.
And like a ton of horsepower and no maneuverability, but you could go straight real fast.
The Tucker.
Yeah, you have to understand. You're basically talking about Russell's family here.
That's right.
Was it?
Yes, because the Gremlin probably put food on his table.
The Pacer did.
Oh.
The Pacer did. The Javelin did. The Matador did. Yeah.
Speaking of.
They're not Matador.
70s cars. Lee Iacocca died, I think yesterday.
93, 94?
Maybe. Was he the first, kind of celebrity car CEO?
First celebrity car CEO before Elon Musk, before DeLorean.
Before Bob Lutz.
Or Henry
and apparently he had a commercial back in the day that said, if you can buy a better car, I think they were implying the K car, buy it.
If you can find a better car.
Yeah. And he hoodwinked a lot of people because those cars were big pieces of shit.
Huge. Because there were better cars, weren't there, Paul?
Way better cars. But people believed him, and good for the marketing department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can find a better car, but don't look hard. Okay.
Yeah. Don't look past the Chrysler dealership.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and segue into the next article, which, as long as you're going to be buying your fully electric Camaro, and, so as everyone knows,
That would be a bitchin' Camaro.
Thank you.
um,
Sorry.
So as we've said many times on the show, as much as we talk about electric vehicles and batteries, the problem is a lot of the batteries still are charged from fossil fuels. Now, we know there are exceptions, of course, but still a lot of coal, still a lot of natural gas, still a lot of generators running on burning dead dinosaurs. So, June 29th was an article in Forbes. The world's largest solar power plant was switched on. And this is the Noor Abu Dubai project. And it's 1.18 gigawatts of solar power that was switched on. It's in a solar project. It calls it a solar project. And it says in the article, it's important to make the distinction between this and a solar park. And the big difference is that this was a consortium, Abu Dubai Power Corporation, Japan's Marubeni Corp, and Chinese solar manufacturer Jinko Solar. It cost $870 million. And like I said, 1.18, almost 1.2 gigawatts of power, of solar power. And the interesting thing is that, it's setting benchmarks now that future solar projects should be aiming for. It employed 3,000 people while they were working on it, and it's providing electricity at 2.4 cents per kilowatt hour. And hopefully this will, like I said, set the benchmark, but lay the framework for future solar projects around the world. You build these things and you can start taking a lot of the fossil fuel, coal-powered plants, natural gas plants off the grid, replace them with renewable, put batteries in place to hold the electricity. This is where we should be going. We should be greening the grid. So kudos for this, and let's just wait for the next record to be set.
So anyone out there is good at arithmetic, can they calculate how many Teslas they could charge with this plant every night?
Ooh, I have no idea.
I was an art major, Paul. You trying to embarrass me?
I'm going with 3.
Anybody in the chat room got a calculator handy?
1.17 megawatts?
Gigawatts.
No, it's almost one. Well, I converted. Yeah, 1.17 gigawatts. It's 1,177 megawatts.
Wow.
I saw this article and I said they missed a huge opportunity.
Way
You
to
know,
go,
it's all
John.
fine and dandy that they come up with this large solar plant, but they were so close to 1.21 gigawatts,
Mhm.
and they could have called it the
Right.
Back to the Future solar plant, but they missed it by
And they had the land you could see in that photo.
They could have easily done it. Why? How did they miss that? That's the first thing I thought of when I saw the number 1.18 gigawatts.
Mhm.
You're 0.03 short.
That would be phase 2.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's interesting that one of the largest energy exporting countries in the world is spending a ton of money, cash, to build this.
Mhm.
Wonder what that means.
Yeah, there's a couple of
They want
things
to
there.
get strength
One,
in that because the oil's going to go away.
yeah, one is that they know the oil is going to dry up eventually. The other is that a good drug dealer doesn't consume his own product.
No.
That was the
Trying
metaphor I was
to
hoping
export the product.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
if I did the math right, 117,700.
That's it?
P100.
Did you say 117,000 what?
700 P100Ds.
Nice.
Yes.
So a little more than last quarter.
That's
Yes.
basically the Abu Dhabi of police force.
Right. So they pointed out the difference between a solar park and a this development. So is that like the difference?
Merry-go-round.
Huh?
Solar park has a merry-go-round. And
Oh, okay. So is it the difference between an industrial park and, say, a solar farm? like where the industrial park is like everything's ready to go, all the hookups are there, but the farm it's like just panels in a field.
Yeah, they didn't go into the big thing, but it did say it's important to make the distinction.
And then they didn't distinct it.
Part. And it said these are essentially areas of land earmarked for solar and often ready to go grid connectors, multiple projects built under the same banner, but developed and financed individually.
So is that a good interpretation, like an industrial park, but for solar projects?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to wrap my head around it because they said make the distinction and then they didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't. There's a lot of. I mean, so Abu Dhabi obviously has tons of sun, right? Tons of sun, but they also have tons of dust.
Yeah.
The sand there's really like talcum fine. So cleaning these isn't the sort of like just paranoid kind of OCD thing that maybe your average solar home user might think. I mean, that's like a serious issue. And solar conversion efficiency decreases with heat.
Yes.
Abu Dhabi is really well known for being hot. And I'm wondering if there's nothing in the article, sadly, about whether or not there's any kind of active cooling or if they cared about that at all.
Yeah. Like for me, I've noticed that April is my best output, April to May, even though the summer's got another hour of light. It's also hotter here in South Carolina. So
yeah, Colorado, March is the most productive solar month. So.
Same reason, probably.
Yep.
Because you guys are up there.
And that's one of the things that they talk about in Illinois. You know, everyone thinks, well, it's so far north and, you know, it doesn't get a lot of sun. It gets this, but it also doesn't usually get as hot. Yeah. So what reduced amount of sun you could say that we get is more productive because it's not as hot. And I'm searching other articles to see if there's any mention of cooling.
I did too,
or
yeah.
I'm even looking to see if it's near the water that maybe they would have some sort of underground, you know, pumped water. I don't see that.
Right.
Well, do you lose enough to make it worth plumbing it?
Well, and that's right. Then all of a sudden there's an energy cost to generating the energy, and it gets
right.
You know,
I mean, if you only lose 1%, but it's going to cost you 5% to cool it, then there's your answer.
Right.
Well, they built a cold fire power plant next to it to run the pumps, the solar panels. See, it all works out.
But that just takes away from the story.
The smoke obscures the sun, but otherwise it's okay.
Right.
We have another pipe to pipe the smoke out. Sound range.
Oh, okay. Hockey Day. So we already had show title, Drug Dealers Don't Consume Their Own Product. Hockey Day, show title, Oil-Cooled Solar Cells. Yes.
I'm writing it down.
Writing it down. Yep.
Good work.
So while we're writing this down, why don't we go ahead and go to our next story, which is going to be Casey talking about Tesla's Q2 numbers.
All right, cool. They were awesome. Best ever. So,
okay, and for our next story.
So they produced a total of 87,048 vehicles, of which 14,517 were Model S and Model X, and 72,531 were Model 3s. But that's just production. Let's talk about deliveries. They delivered 95,200 automobiles into people's hands, keys in hand, car driving down the road. They would say, burning gas, but it's a Tesla. So they did 17,650 Model S and Model X, and 77,550 Model 3s, beating their best quarter by 5,000 units.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
How about that for no demand?
Yeah.
And that's with the tax credit evaporating.
Yeah, evaporating before our eyes. So I'm curious to see what it does next year.
Those people got the $3,000 tax credit. Now starts the 1875 tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's a great car.
It's going up.
It's going up despite the tax credit going down. So that's a good thing.
I would like to add that that is 95,000 cars put in the hands of people over 3 months that will never burn gas again. And they will talk to their family to their friends, to their neighbors, to strangers, to everyone around them that asks them about this car that they have. And the vast majority, I'm sure, will have a great experience and project a positive spin on electric cars and what they can do for a family, how they can save money, how they can operate, how they're nicer and faster than regular cars, the instant torque, the fun of driving. And I really think that the ball is rolling down the hill now very fast. Yeah. I think there's the change is here, and I believe it's just going to expand and get faster. So it's a wonderful thing to know that now almost 100,000 cars got out in a quarter, and that's going to start converting other people that don't know about them but are about to find out.
Exactly. And to add on to that is shorting Tesla.
And to add on to that, these cars, as they age, unlike the fossil cars, which get dirtier over time because the seals are no longer new, maintenance isn't perfect. These are getting cleaner as we clean up the grid. As you add more solar, more hydro, more wind, everything, it's getting cleaner as we shut down more coal plants. Whereas the fossil cars, like I said, they get dirtier mile after mile.
And you're exactly right. And that is one of the key arguments is, an ICE car will never get cleaner. An electric vehicle, whether it's an industrial park, like we were saying, a solar park, solar farm, or even microgrids, whether it's residential solar. Yes, electric vehicles will only get cleaner as time goes on. Yeah. They hold their value longer. There's just like everything is just better. Wipers and tires. That's pretty much
washer fluid.
And washer fluid, right?
So, can I give everybody a chance in the chat room to drink?
Sure, got it.
This goes out to Mark and Casey. Do you want to guess what the over/under is on profit in Q2?
It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry?
I mean, as long as they stay in business, it doesn't matter.
I'm going to say 50-50.
I like that number.
It doesn't matter. 50-50. I'm just going to accept those because I don't have a clue. I mean, I don't have a clue.
Elon hasn't been guiding, so I don't know what to expect.
I think they're still losing a bit on each car, but they'll make it up on the volume.
Yeah, it'll either be a small loss or a small profit. I mean, you don't get the CFO and CEO to look at pages and pages of the day-to-day stuff and not have some kind of effect out of that. Because otherwise, that means that you've just wasted their time, and that would be a terrible signal if that effort had no improvement on what was going on.
So Hockey Day says 100 million over.
100 million over. Nice call.
I'm looking for confirmation.
I mean, and Fred said they had to bring in their own toilet paper.
Yeah, I don't know about big. I think it's going to be very. So I won't put Mark and Casey on the spot without saying I think it's going to be an under, and I don't know what it's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of dancing in the accounting department. Oh, yeah. There is in every company.
Yes, but they've been doing it for 16 years. They're always dancing.
I'm sorry?
They've been doing it for 16 years. They're always dancing.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But there was that profitable quarter, and then
I'll go on a limb and say it's going to be a slight profit. A slight.
Will you?
Don't forget that the way that they account the leases really makes their stuff look bad for these people who are out to get them.
Well, I mean,
because the lease isn't counted until it's all leased out and they get the car back. Which is
there's a ton of things that we can go down that road and go, oh, they shouldn't do this or they should do this. Or
I'm not saying they should or they shouldn't. I'm just saying that would probably push them on the slight loss side.
So Casey, would you say slight loss?
No.
He says profit.
Okay.
No.
So we got two.
Doesn't matter.
We have two slight profits. Everybody else chime in.
To get the market to shut up, they'll need to show a small profit.
But that's not.
But yeah, I mean that's not really a guess. I'm going to guess that there was still a minor loss. I can't find anything that says.
No one's reported it, Tony.
No one's reported anything. We won't get that till the end of the month.
Yeah, you won't get it
Oh,
till
okay.
Like next
till
month.
August.
Yeah.
I want it now.
No, you can't have it. They lost 700 million last quarter.
Mhm.
So
If
that's
they lose 600 million, they're good.
Well, good is relative, of course. Let's compare this to.
So Russell, are you saying slight loss or more than slight loss?
define slight. I guess I should define it. I'm saying they're going to lose at least 200 million.
Okay.
I'm going to say they did.
And I'm sorry. My final thing is we're going to see an adjustment on those numbers, on the production numbers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh yeah, there's an adjustment every time.
And I don't mean a positive one.
I'm going to go with
Usually it goes
a
up.
minor loss, less than last time, but still a minor loss.
And Paul, what do you think? Paul, your mic is out.
Oh no.
Mike is out. Sorry. It's a tough one. I think they're going to try and squeak like a penny a share earning or something just to say they were profitable, but it's going to be tight.
Okay, so you're slight profit.
How many do they need?
Just a little
You're
bit.
razor
A
thin.
wafer
profit.
thin,
Razor
wafer thin
thin.
profit. They're going to fudge the numbers just to say they made a profit.
All right. Well, our votes are in. We will come back to this in August.
So how many do they need to get on the S&P? 6 profitable quarters of the amount that Paul said?
6
or
non-consecutive or
I
don't
don't know.
know.
To figure out. I think it's something about 4 consecutive, and then I think 6 overall or something. Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
I don't know.
I am
don't
going to
know.
share this while we're talking about it.
I'm not. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, I am gonna share this. So you can see
up.
that the stock is at 234 at the beginning of the month. It was down, and I think I even have to go a little farther because it bottomed out at 178.
Ooh.
And so all of June, is that going to refresh? Come on, you can do it. There we go. So all of June has been, the trend is up. Quite substantial. What is it? This is more than 20% growth from 178 up to 224. That's anybody should. That's pretty damn good. 20%.
Pretty good, unless if you bought it at 330.
Well, right, there is that. Yeah, but
Right.
yeah,
Or if you want to do 32.
yeah. Anyone familiar with it should have kind of known that 170 or 180 was probably as low as it was going to get. And yeah, we'll have to wait until the end of the month to see what numbers they post. But I think if they post growth, and even if it is just a little loss, definitely if they show a profit, I think the stock is going to kick up again.
Yeah, I'm not a big. The whole stock fluctuation thing bores me, to be honest with you. And I get that it's important. I'm not saying that it's not, but that whole sort of wrestling match about the stock price, I don't care about. What I care about is the long-term viability of an important company that makes EVs. And I want them to continue to do that. And I want them to get back into solar and other things. So that's my concern. My concern isn't whether or not somebody makes money on the stock or any of that other. That to me, it's not the mission. Elon's going to go home a billionaire if Tesla closed doors right now.
This is true.
So
Yeah.
That's all. Thank you, Tony.
Right. Well, that's probably a good wrap up for that one. I think Russell has our next story talking about.
I have a story?
Yeah.
You're
I think
kidding
you were
me.
talking about car sales yourself.
Oh, well, speaking of car sales, so it's been interesting. We've done some reporting on this. Ford last year, as well as General Motors, have been closing plants, have been adjusting their inventories, adjusting their model lineup, anticipating a slowdown that is sort of coming. This automotive news article is interesting in that it talks about what the dealers are going through. And right now, one of the big issues that dealers are going through is finding used inventory under 10 grand. It's very, very difficult because they have a demand, people that want to buy these cars, but they can't find them. What are the reasons for that? Well, the article doesn't super go into that. I mean, we've talked about them before here. People keeping their cars now an average of 10 or 11 years, as opposed to a much shorter timeline in the past. And I think it's also that with the price of cars going up, people that don't have that liquid income, that disposable income to spend, 35K is the average. I don't know what the median price is, and I tried for days to find out. Anybody know? In fact, let me put this call out. If you can tell me and give me a source of what the median price of a new car for sale in the United States is, I would love and respect you forever.
I keep hearing numbers from 32,000 to 36,000.
But those are the average numbers,
Right? Yeah,
not
average.
the median.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, but there's a big difference, right?
Yes, there is. There is.
And that's really what I want to know, because obviously luxury cars skew
Well,
that.
take out pickup trucks, because some of these pickup trucks are $90,000 now.
Absolutely. So it will be interesting to see if the car buying economy, if the car buying consumers as a group slow down buying new cars, and there's this dearth of good used inventory, how that will happen. And this part of this plays into what people like Ford and General Motors think is going to happen in 2019 and 2020, where people are going to be buying certainly fewer sedans, right? I mean, Ford killed almost all their sedans.
Ford,
Yeah.
General Motors.
Yeah. And General Motors as well. So it's trucks and CUVs, and the long-term question there is right. The long-term question there is that a good thing, or are they killing themselves by getting rid of something that's been an American mainstay for, dare I say, 80, 90, 100 years?
Right.
Well, I think it's good that the Chevy Cruze will go away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
Poor Hertz, though. Like, what are they going to rent? It's like
The Nissan Versa.
yeah.
They're gonna find old Chevy Cruises.
I love that. Right? Hey, you can drive a 95 Chevy Cruze. I don't think they even made it then.
Vintage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next thing in rental cars.
Yeah. So, when I was selling cars in 2008, we had used cars were still big then, and my used car manager at the time, he said that cash for clunkers is going to cause greater than 10 years of disruption in the market, and he was right.
You think that was a big reason for this? I think.
Yeah, it destroyed a lot of used cars that would be in the market because they were gone. They weren't just traded in; they were destroyed.
Right, but that was really low in inventory.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody took like, hey, I've got a 3-year-old Corolla with 30,000 miles on it.
Right.
Yeah, they were real clunkers that they crushed.
They were real clunkers, but they were also the cars you could get for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000.
Those cars
at the dirt lot. Yeah.
I
took a 2002 Mazda Protege in on trade. If anybody's looking for a $2,000 car.
Yeah.
How many miles?
150.
Oh,
It runs good though.
I was just talking with a friend.
Roll-up windows.
Yeah, well, I was just talking with a friend on Twitter yesterday. She's trying to find a new car. She wants a Mazda 3.
Right.
She's got about $8,000 to spend. That means she's either getting something newer than like 2007,
Right.
but with 150,000 miles on it, or older than that and maybe around 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting problem. Obviously nobody's going to come out with an $8,000 car. I shouldn't say obviously, but
Tata.
right? It would be interesting to see somebody. I don't know if it would sell though.
I would hope not.
It
Do
would
they
be
meet the
so
safety standards?
cheap-assly made that people would be scared to get in it.
Yeah. I don't blame them.
Wouldn't it be just like the introduction of Hyundai when they first started?
Yes.
Yeah.
They came in at a bottom basement price to get people in the cars.
$49.95, but they had a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty that covered everything.
Yeah.
All right.
So
You know?
Top Hat could do that if they have greater than a 3-star crash rating.
Yeah, it'd be a
And they can meet the
disposable
emissions.
car,
Yeah.
just like the Hyundais were when
Yeah.
they came out.
They
Yeah.
have to be EVs because there's no way that 2-cylinder, 3-cylinder engine they had is going to work here.
Yeah, and then you got batteries, and
You do.
just
But
makes
as
them.
but as battery, we all know the cost of batteries is going down. When that happens, maybe there will be a $6,000 to $8,000 entry level commuter car. That's battery powered.
Right.
Because once the price of batteries dips, the rest of the car is pretty cheap to build.
It is.
Compared to a gas car.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't
Absolutely.
need a transmission. You don't need a complicated engine with emission systems with a catalytic converter that's worth $2,000. There's a lot of savings once they get the battery stuff sorted out, which is arguably like 3 years away.
Yeah.
That's what they tell us.
Well, and I heard it right here. And if, we hear it on the internet, then it has to be true.
Absolutely.
No, but I think the auto industry that's making gas cars is going to be hurting 5 years from now, big time.
Well, I'm hoping for the disruption. I'm not hoping for the hurting part.
Right.
I hope that they
I hope they get on the
transition.
bandwagon and make EVs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, VW seems to be really committed to EVs now, but
Mhm.
let's see how are they really committed?
They certainly talk the talk. Will they walk the walk?
They
Exactly.
talk the talk and they write the press release. And
Yeah.
release it.
Mhm. Yes.
Mm.
So I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about one of my favorite states, Kentucky.
Really?
Okay. No, I can't even say that with a straight face. Okay.
Tony, we're losing
Talk about one of the states.
people.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
There goes all the Mitch McConnell fans. Damn.
yes. So here's an article here from WDRB.com. Now, I actually do know WDRB in Kentucky because I grew up on the Indiana-Kentucky border. So one of the things that's happening, this is coming out of Louisville, is that Kentucky is rewriting their home solar rules and how the Louisville Gas and Electric reimburses people and when the net metering regulations. So it used to be that if you generated a kilowatt of electricity, you sold it back to LG&E at the same price that they sold it to consumers. So what this meant was if you had solar and you sold kilowatt hours back, then you gained money. And the thing is, now they're starting to say, wait a minute, we are the ones who are paying the maintenance for the poles. We're maintaining the wires. We're maintaining the transformers.
And we want more money.
Yeah.
We kind of want more money. Now, okay. Now here's the thing. And we've said this with EVs and I say this with solar. I don't think anyone's looking to cheat the system.
I am.
Untrue.
Except for Case. So the thing is, I have a little bit of, I hate to say I have empathy with the power company, but the fact
you
that
shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I know I
never did
shouldn't
that.
say that. The fact of the matter is they really do maintain the transformers and the poles and the wires, and they really do building the infrastructure. Now, if you are 100% off the grid, you have solar, you have battery, and you do everything inside yourself, then great. Cut the cord and nothing. This does not address you.
That's against the
I
law.
will
in
cut the
some
cord.
states.
I will cut the
Yeah,
cord.
in some states like in Florida, for example, we know you cannot go 100%.
California as well.
Oh, in California as well.
Why does this guy use 1 watt hour a month, every month, month after month?
Yeah. So what they're doing is they are actually they're looking to add the connection costs to help pay for the infrastructure, but they're also going kind of one step further, which I found interesting. In this article, they had said LG&E is looking to charge everyone a set fee per month It even said regardless of how much electricity they consume, they just want everyone to pay the same amount every month. But the problem
convenient.
then the problem is that's great for the people who are just going to consume as much electricity as they can. But if you have solar, you're literally not consuming. Well, you're
You just got
usually not
screwed.
consuming. Yeah, you just got screwed because why bother except for the feel goods of having solar on your roof?
I mean, if it's a reasonable fee, I mean, I have solar panels in a solar farm, and I pay like a statement fee or some connection fee or something, but it's like $6 a month to the utility because I'm kind of a net zero overall user.
Mhm.
So I don't have a problem giving the utility $6 a month to maintain their network. But if they charge me $100 a month, then I don't think that would be fair.
All right, so I've got a transformer in my front yard. My two neighbors don't have solar. I'm in South Carolina, where it's 1,000,000 degrees every summer. And so the electricity goes into that transformer, comes right back out, either to the left or to the right of me. There's not any transmission charge involved, but I get charged as if they're going all the way across their entire zone.
Is a transformer on a pole on your property?
No,
or
it's sitting in my freaking front yard, taking up half the yard. It's a tiny yard.
you should charge them a rental fee each month.
I should charge them a rental fee each month.
Bill them $200
Yeah,
patient fee.
You know who got that fee? The developer.
yeah, exactly. I bet you if you look at my lot, there's a hole in the.
Mhm. Absolutely, there is.
This doesn't exist.
So, Paul, in the article, they're looking at $13.50 a month.
Yeah, I mean, if you're connected to the grid and the grid has to be maintained, that's not too unreasonable. I mean, $6 is better, but if you do depend on the grid for winter use or evening use, you should pay something. But conversely, they should bill you $13.50. But if you give them 200% of what you use, they should be paying you. So you still should make money out of it.
Exactly. No, yeah, fully agree with you on that. And I do trust that this will be resolved in the best interest of the Kentuckians because I know their senior senator, Mitch McConnell, has their best interest in mind. I'm sure this is going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And
Total
don't
sarcasm because Mitch
deep
McConnell.
fryers run on electricity for chicken?
Get what?
Did you actually say the phrase "deep fryers for chicken"?
Yeah, we're talking Kentucky, right? Isn't that Kentucky
it is.
chicken?
That's the home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would, if they ever open up, the solar wall sales again, what I would do is I would get one of them and I would set the curtailment such that once I reach whatever that minimum consumption is, and I'd have my power walls shut me down. If they want to play games, I can play games too. And then the rest of my fellow Americans, state people, they lose because of big business being greedy.
But I think it would be great when power walls are ubiquitous and home solar is great, and you can literally cut the cord to the utility and say "F you."
I would do that too.
But
if I'm in a place that already had it, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I was just going to say, I mean, cutting the cord is great, I guess, but I'm not a prepper or a survivalist. Like, there's nothing wrong with being connected to the grid.
Right.
The problem is because it's there if you need it or if you're putting stuff back in.
And if you produce more than you use, then yes, you should be able to sell it.
I know that, and I'm not saying this is you, Paul, but lots of people are just absolutely obsessed with cutting the cord. When really what they want is, I don't want to give my utility any more money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or what I'm giving them. I don't want them to steal it from me. I want them to pay a fair price. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've cut the cord,
Lost
beat
all
that
our
horse.
Kentucky viewers.
Yeah.
I could go on for like an hour and a half on this topic.
Same.
I'm not going to do that.
Hey, if you guys would like to see Russell go on for an hour and a half on the same topic, click the like button on the Facebook page or the page.
And if
love
you'd like
see
it
the
not to
people
go
who
on
like
for an
that.
hour and a half, click the like button.
Give us the like button if you would like us to cut Russell off. So somehow we're going to get a like.
Right. for as little as $13.50 a month.
You will never have to hear Russell's voice again.
Yes.
I'm now because I'm a masochist, I'm going to go into the chat room and see what they're saying. Oh, chat room agrees.
And they're drinking.
Thank you, Hockey Day.
Check it out. You've already tapped me dry, Russell. What is this?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to bring it home. Last article for the night, and this one from Sierra Club, and it is entitled, "Who Wants to Kill the Electric Car This Time?" And yes, unfortunately, if you are tied in with environmental and political issues, and I know we've mentioned them a few times in on this show over the years, but the names Charles and David Koch should ring a bell. Now, I've often pronounced it Cook because I went to high school with a guy whose last name was spelled the exact same way and pronounced Cook. But I'm told they
another way.
Koch. Whatever.
No,
Anyway,
it's not nice way.
The Koch brothers have made billions and billions of dollars on petrochemicals, burning fossil fuels, killing people in pollution, burning forests, drilling for oil, and making sure that the earth burns up before even their children have a chance to live in it. They don't care. In this article in the Sierra Club,
I like how they spin these taxes on EVs, the Fairness for Every Driver Act.
Exactly. This article does a great job of breaking down, and it basically spells their playbook for everyone to read. You really need to read this article from the Sierra Club. It goes through all of these things. Who's being paid what, how much they are influencing individual senators, and then they follow those senators to say, hey, and then they happen to propose this bill which handicaps electric vehicles and does this and suppresses this and promotes a tax on EVs or reduces incentives. And like Paul said, December 2015, an organization called Frontiers of Freedom received millions of dollars from Exxon and the Koch family, called the Energy Equality Coalition, with the express purpose of fighting the EV tax credit. I mean, oh my God, their fingerprints are all over everything, and you can read all the minutia in this article. And I really encourage people to go read this article. It'll be in the notes of this video. Just take some time, read it. There's a lot in there. You might have to read it a couple of times so that it all sinks in. But I swear to you, these two people are doing so much to hinder the development of electric vehicles, to hold us back, to put money into making sure that more coal is consumed, more oil is consumed, more gasoline is consumed. I swear to you, it's one of these things that if I could watch the movie It's a Wonderful Life and wish they had never been born, I would.
Tell us how you really feel, Tony.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not regular viewers, so I don't have to worry about losing their subscription.
They probably pay some intern to watch us and report on it.
So,
which means the intern makes more on this than we do.
I want to open it up to you guys. I mean, is there much more to add?
So these guys are like older than dirt. They don't care if their own children have clean air to breathe or their grandchildren. They have more than enough money to spend before they die. Like they could not spend it all, but they need more. Are they sick?
Yes. There's got to be some sort of mental condition that they just want more, and they've got to somehow know that all the stuff that they're promoting is contributing to climate change. It's burning up the earth. It's
and find where they live and like get a diesel truck and route the exhaust into the intake of their house.
Yes,
see,
perfect,
and let them just breathe for a few days. See how.
And the thing is, people like Warren Buffett, they see the trends and they simply change their approach. They ride the waves. They don't even do that.
No, they use their money to keep the wave the same. Yeah. Keep the status quo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
No embrace and extinguish. They they just fight.
Yeah. Hockey Day show title, Hell is for the Greedy.
If only.
Yeah. I don't think we could possibly come up with a single nice thing to say about these guys or their organization or probably any members of their family. Though I don't know any members of their family, just them. Yeah. Alec is, what is it? The American
Legislative. ALEC is an organization that writes laws and presents them to legislatures so that they can be enacted, but they're a lobbying group. How's that?
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
a lobbying group for stuff that we generally are against as green-minded people.
Very much.
So and in the article it talks about how members of ALEC, the lobbying group, and politicians have like weekend getaways where they sit down and they write legislature together.
Oh,
It's pro these guys, and then the politicians go up and they sign them into law. I mean, literally, they write the law. It's, yeah.
And often you see it passed verbatim with no changes.
Right.
Or at least going up for vote that way. Yeah.
Did you see, have you guys seen the video? There are videos that show these things. State for state are passing laws, and the verbiage is identical, 1-to-1-to-1. And it's like the odds of states having that much consistent verbiage is just so ridiculously low, and yet there it is.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing we can hope is that, as mentioned earlier in the show, more and more people get on the EV bandwagon, understand it, love it, and preach it to their friends and family, and we can become a wave of ourselves that can overcome this.
Yeah.
Well, the article talks about in Colorado here, the Koch brothers tried to get rid of the Colorado EV tax credit, which I think is still the best in the country. And the citizens of Colorado fought it, and it's still here. So they lost. So that's the thing. Yeah. Grassroots, community, writing your elected officials, make it happen.
Yeah. They lose a lot. You have to pay attention. And don't fall for the cutesy names. Like the Florida one was like the Protect Sunshine bill or some shit, and it was the exact opposite. You couldn't use solar panels.
Solar is going to waste all the sunshine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to drink it all up.
Yeah, it was like the freedom of solar, and like the way it was worded, like they wanted you to check yes, but if you did that, you were screwing yourself. And so, thankfully, they voted it down, and they are able to do solar panels in Sunshine State. But if they had just gone by the title, they would have voted it out.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They come up with these titles. It's the everybody's happy and you're going to win bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
free cash for everyone.
and you have to really be cautious of these articles. And they mention the video that was fully funded by one of their think tanks that was called, it was a YouTube video, and it was called The Hidden Cost of Electric Vehicles. And it went into really what it was. And I didn't watch the video. I was reading about it here in the article. And it went into the fact that there are subsidies for electric vehicles. And therefore, the hidden costs are, if you're poor, you're subsidizing rich people who buy electric vehicles. And you need to really be against that.
So why don't they call it
the poor are subsidizing the rich in this case?
Yeah. No, they should call it the Make Old White Rich Guys Even Richer bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Or make oil and gas rich guys even richer.
Oh, wait, I'm not rich, but I am old and white. I'm definitely not rich.
All right. As much as I'd love to beat the Koch brothers, I can't beat that anymore. So instead, what I'm going to say is, if you want to read all the news we're talking about, make sure you check us out online. First of all, we do have our Facebook page at facebook.com/whatdrivesus. Leave us comments, submit news items, or just like the page. And if you do use Flipboard as a news aggregator, be sure to subscribe to our What Drives Us magazine. So before we wrap it up, does anybody have one more thing? Mark? No?
I do.
All right. Oh, you do? All right, Mark, what's your one more thing?
I have one more thing. I've added another EV to the stable here, and I just thought that you guys would be interested to hear that I picked up a used 2016 Chevy Spark EV.
Please tell me you have pictures.
I'm trying to bring the picture.
You're fired.
And it's not working. Damn it.
What are you
That's
going to do with the Spark?
Well, my daughter's going to university in town, and she decided early on that she didn't want a gas car. So she helped pick out what was affordable and what would make sense in her driving situation, and picked up a Spark.
But isn't a Spark a compliance car?
It is. It is, and it's not even available in Ontario. It can be serviced here in Ontario, but it was not available.
Like when it breaks.
Well, because my local Chevy dealer who deals with volts and bolts, I found out initially that yes, they would be able to service this vehicle first. So wanted to make sure that was the case. Didn't want to be, having to drive my car to Paul in Colorado every week. So
if it's broken, you wouldn't be able to drive.
well, I would send it by truck. Yeah. So
the Spark and the Volt shared a lot of components.
Yeah. But as someone who works on these things, I advise people generally not to buy compliance cars because of the lack of support, unless you're in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this little vehicle will be in a bit of an experiment. It gets about 83 miles to the charge in good weather. And of course, in Ontario, we don't get good weather all the time. We're going to have a winter. So it'll be interesting to see. But I'll report on it from time to time, see how it holds up. And but I have to say that in the summer here at this point, it is a fun car to drive. Like this is a peppy, torquey little car that is like a go-kart. It is fun to drive.
Mark's daughter's name is Rapunzel. She can't leave town.
She can leave town.
If she has a commute, it's probably a great fit.
Yeah. I agree, Paul. I think it's probably a really good fit given the driver, given their driving use scenario.
Yeah.
It's a great buy.
Right. Well, thanks, Mark. Paul, any shout outs before we go out?
No.
You don't even want to plug Older Hybrids HC?
No.
Paul just wants to go home. He's been working all day.
You guys have what do you say, a protege to sell?
Yes, it's not on my website yet.
Okay.
But it might be.
All right. Our soon to be moving Casey. Any shout outs?
Yeah, Casey Green on YouTube. KACEYGREEN. And I'll be the one with this face, not one of the young females that's never posted in years.
I'm not sure where to go with that.
So if you go to youtube.com/Casey Green, you'll get the right one. Versus if you try to search for me.
Okay.
KACEYGREEN.
So are you saying there's like a porn site called Casey Green?
I wouldn't go that far. It looks like somebody set up a couple of YouTube accounts and just never used them. Sometimes they rank higher than me. I don't know how.
Well, now I'm tempted to start a Casey Green deepfake site.
Oh, not deepfake. I mean, at least be somebody else.
All right, Mark. Do you have the week off for Canada Day, or are you just
last week?
Monday?
Canada week here.
Canada gives you like 6 weeks vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Take it into summer. Best time to do it.
Yep.
I would like to wish all our viewers a happy 4th, and if you were in Canada, certainly a belated Happy Canada Day as well.
Yes. Also, I also want to wish everyone a happy 4th, even if it just happens to be Thursday, because it's only
might be out of North America.
Only in one country is it actually Independence Day. Everyone else, it's just Happy 4th of July. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Yes. Russell,
Yeah,
bring us
everywhere else
home,
is Thursday.
please. Bail me out.
Bail you out. Well, let's see. I actually have a couple of shout outs. Like my favorite new Twitter account, and this is an account called It's Van Time, and it's all one word. It's Van Time. I love these people, or whoever it is. They just post vans,
Huh.
all
Oh,
different
like van
kinds.
life people?
I'm sorry,
Is it like van life?
I have no idea. Oh, bless you! Or
Oh, take it.
is that
Sorry.
a sneeze, or did
It was a
someone just
sneeze.
get shot? Anyway, it's Van Time on Twitter. They're totally cool, and I enjoy their account because they're fun. Let's see titles. I think I don't know, man. I'm kind of. I don't know really where to go with the title this week.
Yeah, so I've got drug dealers don't consume their own product.
Right.
I've got oil cold solar panel.
Right.
I've got hell is for the greedy. And a latecomer.
Oh,
And
go
then
ahead.
a latecomer is a few megawatts short of time travel.
Yeah.
Mark's daughter's name is Rapunzel.
Yeah.
No, it really is, Casey. That's weird. How did you know that? that's so bizarre.
Oh, if it really is, I'm sorry. I'm just joking around.
Yeah, I mean, are you stalking Mark's kids?
No.
That's kind of okay. And otherwise, that's all I have. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yep.
900. 900.
Hey!
Oh yeah.
Thank you, all of you. You.
My gong has been packed.
All of you. Thank you. Please keep sharing it. We are so close to our 1,000 goal that we need desperately. Thank you so much for subscribing. Share the show. Like the show. We need that support. It costs you nothing, and it helps us enormously. So it was so cool to see 900 today. Thank you.
You're right. And with that, I want to thank all of you in the panel for being on the show. I want to thank all of our listeners for spending some time with us. And as always, Michael Mainring for his theme music. Be sure and visit him at manthing.com and watch some of his amazing videos on YouTube. So that's all we've got for this week. Make sure you tune in or download us next week to find out what drives us.